Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. Over the summer, I took Lyric down to Florida to see his grandparents, and I just remember being so sad and crying uncontrollably because within a 7-day period of us being down there, 2 children on the spectrum with elopement issues got out of their house and sadly, tragically ended up drowning. This could have all been prevented if Broward County had Project Lifesaver. We are lucky enough here in Cobb County in Atlanta, Georgia, to have Project Lifesaver, and many of the surrounding counties also have Project Lifesaver. We're going to find out today what it is. Please welcome to the show Keith Tatum, EMS Operations Lieutenant with Project Lifesaver and the CARES Division in Cobb County. Hi, Keith. How you doing?
Hey, Gina. Good to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Tell everyone what Project Lifesaver is.
Okay, in a nutshell, Project Lifesaver is a program. It's actually international. There's some places in Canada that have it as well, but it's an international company, and they specialize in helping public safety entities find known wanderers in their community quickly and more safely and more efficiently. It's been around for a while, but it's kind of new to us at Cobb, so we're excited to be a part of it.
When did Cobb County start this?
We went live in June of 2023, so still pretty new.
Oh, still pretty new. Yeah. You know, I noticed on the Project Lifesaver website, they've saved and rescued more than close to 4,500 people.
Correct.
And it's not just individuals with dementia who are known to wander, but for kids on the spectrum who are known elopers, running in and out of the house and things like that. And then they're so drawn to water. This is kind of something that I think every county should be behind. How many counties in Georgia already have Project Lifesaver?
I'm not sure how many. I know almost all of our neighboring counties do because I checked with them. That's part of the process is you got to make sure people with assigned transmitters aren't too close to somebody else with the same transmitter in a different jurisdiction. So I kind of had to touch base with all of our surrounding entities to make sure we didn't cross wires, if you will.
And Keith, explain the transmitter process. So explain the process of how one gets on the Project Lifesaver program.
Okay. Well, if you're in Cobb County, I'll go ahead and spit the number out. You can call 770-852-3294, and that goes to our public safety village. If some people might be familiar with that. If you have kids on the spectrum. You make an appointment and you go down there and you get a unique identifier assigned to you. It's a bracelet or an anklet, your choice, whatever you think you can tolerate best. And the sign-up process is pretty simple. They'll take a picture, issue your bracelet, and you'll be on your way. That picture is then sent to the 911 center so that if this person goes missing, we have a picture of them in our file ready to go so we know what we're looking for when we get there.
And a GPS already built in that can kind of tell you exactly where to go.
That's right. Unique identifier is a simple radio transmitter. It's got a range of, depending on terrain and business and buildings in the way, but it's got a range of 1 to 2 miles, which is plenty of time usually, or plenty of distance rather. Most people don't travel a mile before somebody notices that they're missing, so it works really well.
And is there a cost to families with this?
I can only speak for Cobb County Fire Department, and we are currently incurring that cost. I can't say that it will always be that way, but right now the funds are there, and our leadership has decided that this project is important enough that we want to make it as affordable as possible. So I think that will always be the case, but right now it's free.
I was under the impression that the police handled things like this. When did the fire and EMS get involved?
So the concept of something, not necessarily Project Lifesaver, but something to help us with the known wanderers in the community came from our public safety director. And he made the decision to put it underneath the fire department. I don't know why that is, because you are correct. We're one of the very few fire departments that are in the Project Lifesaver business. And actually, that was one of the stipulations before we signed the contract, is I wanted to talk to another fire department and see how they handled it. So there's one in Hawaii and then one in Ohio that I found so far.
So it's a rarity to be a fire department EMS on top of Project Lifesaver. With me today, Keith Tatum. He is the EMS Operations Lieutenant with Project Lifesaver and the CARES Division. When we get back, we're going to find out a little bit more about registration and the kind of success stories, too, that go along with Project Lifesaver. Stay with me.
Dodge Tree Service is awesome.
Love Dawn's Tree Service. They've come out for a giant oak tree removal, another for some debris removal.
One thing I really appreciated about Dodge Tree Service, they come, they take those trees down, and they take everything away.
For a free estimate, call Dawn's Tree Service, 770-413-TREE, or find them online at dawnstree.com.
Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today, Keith Tatum, EMS Operations Lieutenant with Project Lifesaver and the CARES Division. What a title you have. Does it even fit on a business card?
Well, it does, but you got to turn it over on both sides.
That's funny. That's right. Keith, what are the success stories? How many families are currently on Project Lifesaver in Cobb County that you can care to share?
Only 8. And I double-checked before I came on with you today. And out of the 8, 6 of them are folks that are on the spectrum.
See, yeah, and other people, this applies. My child was an eloper too, and I could not leave my house there for a couple of years without having tennis shoes on. And I mean, I was dressed to the nines, but I had tennies on because I never knew when he was going to run. And now kids are so sophisticated, they learn how to open locks and then they leave and their parents don't know that they're gone. And it can be a real tragic situation at the end of the day. Have we had to use Project Lifesaver yet in Cobb County with the 8 families that are on there?
So there has not been a case where it has been used in the traditional sense, knock on wood. But we did have a rescue. Well, we could call it a rescue. She wasn't in any real danger, but it could have been. Down at the Battery, there was a lady that some Good Samaritans found. And the fire department happened to be there already as part of some event. I can't remember. But whenever they brought the lady to the fire department for help, and they noticed a Project Lifesaver bracelet on her, and the lady knew her name, so they called up to the dispatch center, and this is where the cooperation between agencies worked out, and just told them what they found with the Project Lifesaver. They were able to contact this lady's caregiver and let them know that we had this person and down at the location that we were at before she ever even realized that she was missing.
Wow. I was just going to ask, so in statistics, how long does it take to find someone with a Project Lifesaver bracelet or anklet?
The average is 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
12 minutes.
This is huge because for kids on the spectrum, they are drawn to water and oftentimes drown. So, and we have large lakes and bodies of water here in Georgia, right?
We do.
So that's a great statistic within 12 minutes. And I know that there's 3 parts. You had mentioned earlier in the show about registering your child or an adult with dementia on the Project Lifesaver. What are the 3 parts again of registering?
Well, so you have the safety village, the dispatch center with their information that they store, and then you have the maintenance piece that I handle out of this office. So if you're going to be, once you sign up, you have to have those, and you get your bracelet. Those batteries have to be replaced every 60 days.
Oh, okay.
And so we have to make those appointments, and it's a constant thing because the bracelet, you got to remember, is always working. So it's not something that's the beauty of it, but it's also a high maintenance piece because it never stops transmitting. You don't know when you're going to get lost. So that's with the maintenance piece. But as long as you don't mind seeing our smiling faces every 60 days, and we're happy to work around the schedule as best we can. And we go to home. Oh,
and the Safety Village is so much fun anyway. If you've never been to the Safety Village, I highly recommend going. They put on some great events for the kiddos, too, throughout the years.
They do. And since we're on that, if you don't mind, I'll do a shameless plug for Camp Puzzle in 2025.
I love Camp Puzzle. We used to come every year.
Absolutely. It's April 26th this year from 10 to 2 down at the Safety Village on Al Bishop Drive. And we would love to grow it even more if we can.
What's wonderful is you can sign up for Camp Puzzle. All the kids get a T-shirt. I don't know if they still do that, but in years past, they got a T-shirt. Everybody gets a hamburger or a hot dog lunch, and they get to go around. There's bounce houses. But what I also like is all of the first responders are present, even down to animal control. And then they also bring out some pups and cats that are available for adoption, because that'll get you every time, right? But the kids used to learn how to use a fire hose. They can walk through the Safety Village and learn what happens in the case of a fire. oftentimes kids will hide, and we try to teach the kids to go to the firefighter, give them a hug. Right. Every time you see one. Do you know my son still walks up to firefighters even today and gives them a high five? He's out of the hugging stage because he's 12.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, but there's not a lot of places like our safety village in the whole country. We're very fortunate to have that down there and that resource. And with Camp Puzzle in particular, it's amazing how the entire community, not just public safety, but I remember Cobb EMC is down there. There's wreckers down there. All kind of big machinery and stuff to look at and touch and put your hands on it. So. The community really rallies around it. It's a great program.
It really is. And one more time, Keith, how can people find out about Project Lifesaver right here in Cobb County?
So the number again is 770-852-3294. And again, that's down to the safety village. If you are not in Cobb County, I would just encourage you to go to projectlifesaver.org. If you scroll down a little bit, there's a place where you put in your zip code, and they will let you know if you live in a jurisdiction that incorporates Project Lifesaver.
And it would be good to know, too, if you live currently in a county that does not have Project Lifesaver, there's a huge conference for Project Lifesaver coming up in April that you can go and get your cities and county representatives on board to possibly bring Project Lifesaver to them as well. So that's a good one to note as well. Keith, thank you so much for being on the show.
Absolutely. I appreciate your time today.
With those anklets and bracelets transmitting all the time and more than 5 receivers set up in Cobb County, your child, young adult, and or adult with dementia will be found within 12 minutes. That's the success rate. That's huge, considering at the beginning of the show I was telling you those 2 kids in Broward County down in Florida got out of their house, and had they just had a Project Lifesaver on, they'd be here today. And tragically, they're not. And their parents, I know, have just this unconsolable hole in their life and their body. Project Lifesaver. If you want to learn more about it, a few things to remember. ProjectLifesaver.org. They will also be at Camp Puzzle later in April, so look for that. They all are on social media. They have websites for Camp Puzzle, and if you've never done Camp Puzzle with your child, whether you're in Cobb County or not, I recommend going. It is the coolest day ever. Lyric thoroughly enjoyed that growing up, for sure. As we continue to live life with the spectrum, if you are in a town, a county, a city, state, country that does not have Project Lifesaver, please go to projectlifesaver.org. There are 2 conferences, I think, like one big week-long conference, I should say, coming up in April that you can sign up for and hopefully bring that to where you live. It is certainly a no-brainer. As is watching Life with the Spectrum every week. Thank you so much for checking it out. We appreciate it. Moving forward, continuing to bring you the latest information, tools, resources, schools, organizations, foundations, making a world of difference in the world of autism. Until next time, we live life with the spectrum. See ya. Bye.